Nimansh Jain sir.
I'm Ajay and I am founder of Drishta Technology,
Okay.
and we work with schools to provide unique experiences to students which are based on virtual reality.
Okay.
So virtual reality, as you are aware, is a technology which can take you to any place you can think of right from the classroom.
So
Yes.
I'll request you all to give 2 minutes. Your views in 2 minutes each.
Right.
Okay, Geeta Varshne, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm Geeta Vashne. I'm heading Sri Ram Global School in Greater Noida West. It's a
Welcome,
new
ma'am.
school. Yeah.
Principal CBSE, sir, your name, please.
Yeah,
I've seen
that's
your
my email ID which crops up. So I am Ajay Singh. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I head the CBSE section of Genesis Global School in Noida.
Just a minute. I'll just check this out.
Okay, Rahul Tak, sir, please unmute. And your video is also not available. Can you just
Yes,
open
yes,
your video as
yes,
well?
yes. Yes. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rahul, and I'm working with Drishta Tech company. Ajay sir just has explained you.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Dhirendra Singh Parihar, your mute, please unmute and video as well.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dhiren, and I am also working with the Stratec, and we are providing VR virtual reality workshops in schools and other services also in these schools. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Over to Swapna Nair, ma'am. Welcome again, meeting again. So,
Good, very good afternoon,
how
Annie.
are you, ma'am?
Good,
I'm
good.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon to all the other speakers. This is Swapna Nair, Principal, Arvachin International School, Delhi.
Good afternoon.
Welcome abroad. So all the members here are educated as well as I will say very much educated in their own fields. And we shall start with the topic today is the International Olympiad for Value Systems and Health and Wellness. Now, my first question to Ajay Singh sir, that is, what do you understand by value systems in the present scenario?
Yeah, if I can just ask everybody's attention to a brief story which we all know. It's mythological story, but I will connect it to the question which is being discussed at the present moment. So online teaching goes back several ages, and if Eklavya could teach himself by watching Dronacharya without any direct form of teaching, and then he could also give his thumb as form of Guru Dakshina. In those times where value systems were very strong, there were certain questionable things happening even in that point of time, but we are talking about largely the value systems. And now if you compare the present generation where this online teaching, which is exacting a lot of effort from the teachers, a lot of demands from the teachers to be online friendly, to upgrade their skills, become a learner themselves, learn, relearn, unlearn, which are the topics going around in the world, and then deliver to the students. And what is the result? I don't think somebody is cutting the angutha, they are being shown the angutha. What a drop in the value systems. So you see, so value systems are very strong, embedded, fundamental beliefs which guide our entire life and behavior. So from a very educationist point of view, if you look at the entire concept of value systems linked with health and well-being, then we can understand this concept in a better version. So value systems have to be certain principles which are the bedrock of life. And in today's life, I think the gray areas have overtaken the black and white. So there are a lot of compromises which we do to have our own pursuit of our own concept of well-being. So money is one big concept. So in the pursuit of money, the happiness becomes secondary. The value systems becomes secondary or maybe tertiary. So as a school, as a philosophy in education, are we missing out on the value systems which we had as strong fundamental? I remember I had every week we had 2 lessons of moral science, and we used to rather not very much enjoy it, but learn it. The fundamental value systems always taught in the homes. So at the moment, I can tell you that what criticisms the parents, with all due respect to all parents, they are pointing it out at homes that kids are listening. So imagine that respect as a value system will not be there to the teachers because the parents are pointing it out. They are pointing flaws. They are finding faults with each and every effort which is being made. Now, when I'm looking at things in a negative way, obviously the health is compromised. So my take is from the value systems, if it is positive, if they are strong, and if they lead to development and progress, then obviously it gets linked with the health, what we have. Health is not just absence of disease. We all know that. It's being healthy in all aspects of life. So I connect to teaching only. I will stick to teaching and school domain and the students and us, all of us. So if my teacher is taking a class from 9 o'clock in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, because the parents are connecting this teaching to the giving of fees, right? So somewhere we are compromising on the exposure to screen. Now the child may be off from the exposure, but the teacher is not. She or he has to plan for the next day, make the lesson plans for the next day. She's or he is on the computer, handle the house at the moment, cook food, look after in-laws. A lot of people are all locked in. So see the challenges, and in spite of all these challenges, a teacher's value systems have stood strong. So we need to compare these systems which are existing apart from the teacher and within the teacher. And then when we talk about well-being, how do we connect this lack of a healthy, positive attitude towards teaching in general, towards the school in particular at this moment, to the limit of actually having malicious talk about the school, about the teachers, about the quality, blah, 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 you name it and you have it, because of an end product called FEES. We are all in a situation, that's no denying the fact, but yes, schools are making certain, they're also climbing down, they're also giving certain benefits to parents. So we need to come together and look at it in a positive way. And education cannot stop. Learning cannot stop. It goes on. Every moment, something or the other is learned. So are you teaching positivity or negativity, which is connected to your health? If my child is learning something wrong on the net and is listening to it, he immediately starts, because it comes from a teacher or a parent, he starts learning it. So what do we talk about health?
I'll just like to interrupt, Mr. Ajay. My question to you here will be, how can you develop the relationship between the two, like the school or the children and the parents? How can you develop that? Fine, we are situation in that situation, but as educationists, what are we going to do, or what can we do in this situation? I'll just give you 30 seconds for that.
Wonderful, 30 seconds. I'll count down.
Yeah.
Great. So one is we need to reach out. The dialogue has to go on. So once we try and reach out and explain fundamentals, I am not saying we'll be 100% successful, but we have seen that a lot of parents in our school have accepted when people have reached out, they have spoken, they have, persuaded, they have taken their point of views, accepted it, and there has been a healthy sort of a discussion. So when we talk about health and healthy discussion, it has led to a better situation. And then, of course, they are looking at systems in a different way, and their acidic comments are also going down gradually, as we have seen in the comment sections. And a general sort of a more happy well-being is existing than what we started initially when the online thing was happening. So reach out, talk, dialogue, persuade.
Right. Thank you so much. We'll talk to Mr. Ajay Jain, sir. So value system consists of social, personal development, finances, personal growth, spirituality, health and well-being. So there are a lot of things.
Yes.
I would ask you, what positive changes can you bring, or can we bring as educationists to the children or to the parents, because they are the main stakeholders? What are the positive changes we would like to see, and how are we going to achieve that? I give you 2 minutes for that, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So, like sir mentioned, that nowadays a lot of negativity is there, and these are unprecedented times. So nobody has faced it before. There is no learning there, nor for parents, nor for children, nor for school systems, and for everyone, be it offices. Like in just a span of, I will say, a day, the work culture, which was trying for a decade to be work from home, it just shifted 100% work from home in many of the industries, which was just unthought of. So these are unprecedented times. So parents, like sir mentioned, you talk of say April or May, they were thinking that these online classes is just to cover up the thing, and schools will open, and these are not efforts from the teachers. But now parents are understanding these are serious learning. There is a serious learning happening. Well, if you talk about even in a classroom situation, not everybody is coming first, and not everyone can come first. There are different capabilities, and that is where value system comes. And it teaches students and parents that everybody is unique. So we cannot expect everyone to score 100% of the marks in maths, but yes, there will be certain section of the students who need math skills, who need science skills, who need maybe computer skills, and they will build a successful career out of these skills. But if you talk about health, if you talk about wellness, if you talk about value system, I think these are the needs for each one of the student, for each one of the younger generation to make a successful life. So that is why I think value system, health and wellness is very, very important, and how schools can contribute, because schools are a platform where students do their most of the learning. They come to school for learning. If they are there in school, their mind is open that yeah, we are learning here. If they are at home, they are indulged in a lot of things. They're also, it contributes to their personality. But the learning, we all, you ask me which school you are from, you judge, yeah, what kind of a person I am. Yes. So the learning happens in school. So I think schools can play a very, very important role. Like sir said, there used to be moral science classes earlier. Nowadays, it has taken a back seat. But I think the kind of exams coming like Value System, Health and Wellness Olympiad, these are great initiatives which can teach students, which can teach parents what are the things which are important, which should be there as part of their everyday life. The way they interact with their parents, the way they interact with their brothers, siblings, their teachers, society as such, or country or the global level. So these are things which are important, and schools can definitely play a very, very important role, crucial role in inculcating these skills to students.
Very good, sir. So that is our duty as educationists, that we inculcate from our side. Yes, we do have certain limitations, but still we are teachers, so we will carry on. So over to you, Geeta ma'am. I would take the topic of like what professional development or finances, because we have talked about children, we have talked about parents. Now, what about the teachers, their value systems and their health and well-being? What do you say about that?
I think the teacher's well-being is as important, if not more, as students.
Yes.
In any school and in any setup, whether physical or online. So their well-being, if that is taken care of, then it filters down to the students, to the parents. So for us, the number one agenda is that only. For instance, when we were thrown into this situation, the first thing that we did was empower the teachers, how to use the online platform. And then, not throwing them into a timetable of 5 slots a day. We started with slowly with 2 and then 3, and how comfortable they are. And of course, ongoing training. So the well-being part is very, very important. So many of our teachers didn't have systems at home. So as a school, we had to provide them the hardware. We can't expect them to buy laptops all, at once. So the well-being is, when we talk of well-being of any individual, then we are actually talking of, the well-being of the mind and body, heart and soul. And all 4 of these have to be looked after. If you only look after the mind, teach them the skills, but not look after the body needs, they cannot perform. If you don't only look after the mind and body and don't look after the heart and soul, which is, the recognition, the encouragement, the the lighter moments that you give them in staff parties or, you know, the meetings. So you have to look after all these things, and what is their, you know, career aspiration. Are you helping them achieve that? And souls, you see, heart's demand is always love, care, affection, recognition. So unless you give it to the teachers, they cannot, you know, further give it to the students. The same thing happens with soul. You see, the need of every soul is to leave behind a legacy, something good. What I did, was my life worth? A lot of people don't even question themselves about this. But the well-being, you know, as you grow is dependent a lot on this. So if the teachers also get a chance to do something great in their classrooms, and we include that as a best practice and share it with the others, I think the teacher is, you know, enchanted for life. And then she knows that what it takes to, you know, bring up the well-being of the child. So all this has to be demonstrated. And we always start from the top management, the owners, the chairperson, the board has to have this kind of a culture of well-being, of looking after, you know, and then it filters down.
Right,
I
ma'am.
hope I made it
Yeah,
better.
absolutely. And I think love, affection, and well-being is a flow. It's a movement from low to up till the equilibrium is reached, so that we can give and take from each other. So thank you very much. Now I move on to Mr. Uttam Kumar from Indore. Sir, my question to you is, again, what are you doing in your school to bring the value system and well-being when we are doing online classes? How are you doing in your school or with your teachers and students?
Basically, when we talk about the teachers and the student, and if you have the bonding between these two, if the child thinks that my teacher is taking care of me, and the teacher basically is being respected by the child, there should be both way. That respect has to be there. When we talk about the value system, it cannot be taught, it has to be imbibed, and as a teacher you have to be the role model. And unless you create that bonding and that faith is not being generated, nobody would listen to you, nobody would follow your instructions in that case. So, and it propagates from top to the bottom. As a principal, if I take care of my teachers and the teachers take care of the children, and this is a chain, and because everything is directly proportional to each other. So if I am talking about the teachers, I'm taking care of them, I'm providing them all supports for online classes, I'm giving them a small token of money. For example, we have given the data charges also, allowance also to them, that they should feel that somebody is taking care of them. So that feel has to be developed as a administrator, and the teacher must develop that trust in the children that we are taking care of you even in this pandemic situation, and we would like to give you whatever you need. We won't basically we all remove all the barriers. There will not be any kind of educational gap, and whatever the requirement of learning, skills development, everything would be taken care of. So that even the parents should also have that faith in the institution and the teachers. So they also guide the children that it is good for you if you sit in front of the screen and listen to your teachers and follow those instructions which teachers are asking. So it is all directly related to each other, and it all propagates from top to the bottom. This is my thinking of that is what I am developing over here, and that trust has already been developed, and we are not facing that kind of a problem that the parents are creating some agitation coming to school and talking about no school, no fee, that kind of situation we are not observing in our school. And they are very polite. They always talk about, they appreciate the efforts of the teachers which the teachers are making, and a lot of learning is happening. Nobody is saying that it is a waste and we don't want to attend such kind of online classes. if they have genuine problem of non-payment of the fee, we are giving them the opportunity to pay monthly, even if they cannot pay in a quarterly manner in different installments. So we are taking care of the parents' economy also. It is not that we are very rigid that you have to pay the fee in the installments, and the first installment completely has to be paid.
I'm having a query here. So don't you think it is the moral value of the parents also to think about the teachers who have been, looking after their kids so well and so for so many years, without and always listening to them, always ears to them? So what value do you think the parents should be inculcating, not only in your school? Maybe you are the lucky person, lucky principal to have all the parents like that, but at least one or two parents parents are there who are not very happy, and especially when it comes to fee time, they generally come up with all the problems of the school coming up. For the whole year they don't have any problems.
That
So
is
what do you say about it?
1 and 2% people would definitely be there. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the values cannot be built in a day or two.
Yeah.
It is not only in a month's time that those values which was inculcated or that was there in their culture is suddenly gone away. That is not possible. If that is there, if you have such kind of a clientele, the kind of a bonding you had with the parents, the kind of a trust the parents showed on you, then this is not going to be removed in a month or two. This will continue. If there is something wrong happening from the management side, from teacher side, then definitely there would be some differences may come up between the teachers and the parents and the management. But this is not happening. We are taking care of each other, and they are also understanding us, and we are also understanding them. If there is some amount has to be reduced in tuition fee, we are thinking about that also.
Right. So I understand that you are doing well, and best of luck. So I'll speak to Swapna ma'am now. Swapna Nair ma'am, Principal Arvachin Public School, Delhi. Swapna ma'am, being in Delhi and being a principal of a renowned school, and you are heading Sahodaya also. So what kind of suggestions and thoughts would you like to give to the parents and the students that how can they come with the value system plus the health of their children as well as about themselves?
Thank you, Annie. And see, it makes sense when we talk about the situation today. And generally, when the teachers are also involved and students also involved in online classes, the phrase that comes to my mind first is Maslow before Bloom. So basically, before taking care of the academic excellence and academic achievements of the children, it's all the more important to first take care of their needs, be it social needs or emotional needs. So definitely as school, we need to, train and talk to the parents, because there's a role reversal. There's a huge shift now from teachers to parents. Parents have taken, there's a role reversal. Parents have taken over the role of supervising the children at home, and basically children, wherein the parents are there to help them with their academics. So we have had a lot of counseling sessions, a lot of parenting. Also met the parents class-wise, wherein we have talked to them about the problems that they are facing. We have also circulated certain, they can write to us and talk to us about whatever problems they are facing. Like sir was saying that we are doing a lot as regard to fees and all, but I really feel that it is all the more important to train the parents also regarding the well-being of the children, and how the emotional dent that is being caused because of all these has to be dealt with the children attending online classes and being detached from their classmates. They are in their own personal spaces. It becomes important for us to deal with their psychological and emotional needs at this point of time, and counseling sessions and teachers one-to-one session helps a lot. I have seen that when teacher personally talks to the children at the level where children are able to share their thoughts with the teacher, and even the parents are able to share their thoughts, where we have actually also involved our counselor in the loop, where she talks to the parents and gets to know that. And I'm very happy that parents have actively supported us, and they are there for us, and every meetings, every interactions that we have. They've been actively participating, and teachers need to come down to the level, in the sense they have to do a differentiated teaching now. It's not that the same sites fits everyone. So they have to basically talk to the children individually, even if it takes a lot of time. It demands attention, personal attention and knowledge of the child. But then it is also important to see that, senior students have been in touch with the teacher somehow or the other in their previous years or so. But the LKG session that we have taken this year, for them this is the new normal. They have not seen what school is and what does a teacher look like. For them it is online, that we are talking to them in 1 hour. So what we have done is we have given a virtual tour of their section to them. They have seen that their teacher took them from the gate of the school to the reception area, to the principal's office, and then to their own classes, and told them that this is the place where you keep your bottles, this is the place where you keep your bags. And eventually there are two places that they generally visit, either the medical room, dance room, computer lab, or their own classes. So we had actually shown them all these things virtually. And we also had a virtual picnic after the school reopened, specifically for 3, 4 and 5 students, so that they can interact with, we in some sections we did shuffling. So children majorly don't know the other students. So this was done in the month of February. And so according to the ERPs, only the classes are going on, so because the children are in the same class. So we had a virtual picnic, and we asked them to bring a lunch, and teachers say they had lunch together. So it was kind of a virtual lunch. And even the physical education teacher had a virtual lunch with their teams of the children who've been participating in national and international levels. So they asked them that how they are preparing. So that one team of 10 to 12 children, they met their physical education trainer and they had lunch together, and then they just spoke over the lunch that how they are preparing themselves, what fitness regimes they are following. So I think, and it's very important. See, nothing is impossible. However, we are saying that the outreach of the online classes is not as it was when the children were in this classroom. But on the other hand, we need to change our perspectives, because this is here to stay. So, and I think that it's better that we take it in a positive strive and move further. And even our children did a beautiful Nukkad Natak, which was featured in newspapers and all today. It was a virtual Nukkad Natak where children are in their own zones, in their own personal spaces, and they are interacting. It is beautiful, which was appreciated by the Delhi State Legal Services
So,
Authority also.
what are the things which you are doing for value education in your daily routine?
Yeah. See, for value education, I personally believe that value education is not something which can be seen in vacuum. So it has to be inculcated in the normal classroom teaching. And there's something called positive education that we have to bring into the system. It's high time that we bring positive education into the system. It's not only important for the teacher to tell the children about their achievements and accomplishments, but also tackle with their mental health. So what we lot of activities in classrooms, from giving them case studies to, like I just said, that we are having street plays. So we basically give them one topic where they are required to have a street play. We celebrated Doctors Day, where we asked the children to basically pay tribute to the doctors. And we are teaching, through that we are teaching them respect, responsibility, gratitude. So these are 21st century values that we need our children to learn. First and the foremost thing is gratitude and responsibility. This is what I feel that children need to learn, and teachers are definitely role modeling it. And I hope that we will be able to, as Sir said, Sir Mr. Jain also referred to the same thing, that if the value system is positive, if the value system is strong, the value system is fair, then the academic excellence will take its own place. So it will fall into place.
Right. So I'll just wind up with Ajay Singh sir. Since your subject is psychology, I feel this is the apt topic for your, just to summarize it. So what will be your last words to the students and the parents who will be watching it? So
Obviously, the first thing is what has been mentioned across is the level of bonding. If the level of bonding is strong enough, as we have in our school called advisor-advisee system, So every teacher who may be teaching or not teaching the student is an advisor to a certain set of students, maybe 4 or 5, and they are bonded for life till the time the child is in the school. Now that allows the kids to have that element of trust and the element of fairness and the element of reaching out and responsibility, all the things, when they can reach out to the advisor, and the advisor in turn has that competence. Not only the counselor is there, but the advisor is the person who actually holds the hand right till the time they are in the school and pass out. So in terms of psychology, what we are talking about, the most important thing is how we look at things. So that will decide the course of action as a school, as a philosophy, as an educational policy, how we take in as educators, as parents, and as kids. So this is what we need to keep on reminding the parents, that this is here to stay, as pointed out. Yes, Corona won't go away. So what's the next best alternative? The next best alternative from face-to-face is an online program. And all schools are working to give and provide a strong online program, taking care of not only academics, as mentioned, but all sports, yoga, meditation, co-curriculars. We had a instruments at home music competition arranged by Sindhya Kanya Vidyalaya, where our school also came second. So kids are doing a lot of things, and this is helping them to show more resilience than us adults in terms of this crisis. So it's having the right perspective, having a positive mindset, and taking it as a challenge to be dealt with, not to be afraid of.
Seeming like it has just started. It was a great discussion. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Vani ma'am. Thank you, Ajay sir. Thank you,
Thank
Swapna
you.
ma'am. Thank you,
Thank you,
Geeta ma'am.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone.